Okay, you guys, welcome back. In this video, we're learning all about headshots. We're gonna do this in 3 parts. We're gonna start with one simple light bouncing into a white V flat. And then from there, we're gonna add in a kicker and get some light on this side of my face. And once we get that worked out, then we're gonna set up one more little tool that I love using, and you'll see what that is when we get there. So let's talk about this setup. I've got a big, giant umbrella. It's called the Photex Soft Lighter, and the light is bouncing into the back of the umbrella, and then it's coming back through this way, and it has to get diffused through the paper, and then it hits my face. So it's a very flattering light, okay, because it's going through layers of diffusion. It goes in that direction, bounces back, and then comes through the paper, and then to my face. So by the time it's hit me, it's soft, beautiful light, okay? Now, the next thing to note is that I do have something on this side filling in the shadows. So I do highly recommend having some sort of reflector or white card or something to bounce the light. I've got my white V-flat set up over here. That way you get the big light that is wrapping around most of my face, but any shadowing that is here can get somewhat softened and filled from your reflector. Another thing to note is that in this situation, we're set up against a white wall. So this is gonna be a pure white headshot, okay? The backdrop is gonna be pure white. Something to note about that is set up somewhat close to the wall. Don't go too far away, because the further you are from the wall, the darker it's gonna be, okay? We're gonna set up somewhat close so that we can try to get some light spilled on the wall. And then in post, we're gonna fill it in even more. And I'm gonna teach you guys how to slick up the white backdrop so that it looks like a pure white, okay? Now, let's take a couple shots, and then we'll check out our camera settings, and then we'll talk about posing as well. Okay, so for posing, this is what I do with my clients, and I'm gonna do this myself as well. I start by posing into the light, okay? That way the light, the nicest light source, is hitting us. We don't know yet what my good side is. I mean, I kinda know, but we're gonna take a look and see, do we prefer this side of my face or this side? But we're gonna start by going right into the big light, okay? So my body is facing the light, my head's gonna turn into the camera. I'm gonna lean a little bit forward because it allows me to just pop my chin out, so it gets rid of any sort of under chin like that. So into the light, looking at the camera, slightly forward, and let's fire off a shot. Great. Now, in this position, what I would typically do with a client is I would get them to give me some variation of neutral looks and smiles, okay? So that could be neutral, that could be smile with teeth, and maybe smile with no teeth. I know for myself, I don't like the no teeth closed mouth smile. For me, it's really gonna be teeth and then neutral. So let's do that. Let's start with neutral. Great, now we'll do a little smile. And then we'll see what we like. The smile is nice. So let's do a couple smiles so that I can really nail one. And this is where it gets kind of, you know, maybe you have to crack a couple jokes or something and get them going, because some people just may not be able to get a smile on cue. Everybody's different. You know, it is good to have a couple jokes in the back of your pocket or some sort of banter that you're comfortable with, just somehow to get them smiling. Worst case scenario, a good tip I could give you is if there's anyone around in the office, if there's any, you know, bubbly people and they want to hang out beside you and just kind of get, maybe it's a friend of theirs and it gets them going a little bit. Sometimes that's helpful. But you should have something to you know, crack a joke. Now, let's go straight on. Let's go straight like this. Straight can be a little boxy, which isn't perfect for everybody. Not everyone can pull this off. I don't know. I don't know if I can or not. Well, you guys will be the judge, I suppose. But let's do one straight on just to see. Good. And then I'll always turn the client out this way, just so we get to see the other side as well, okay? So let's fire a few off. Same thing, I'm gonna lean a little bit forward, chin down slightly. Now, another thing to note is they don't necessarily know where the headshots are going. You know, it might be going on a business card. It might go, if they're a realtor, maybe it's going on a bus bench. Maybe they're gonna start making Canva ads and putting it on their Instagram. So they don't know where the text or the pictures are gonna be. So another reason why I would turn them this way, go straight, turn them this way, is because then they can have some variety and they can grab a few different edits later that can work in different types of advertising scenarios, if that makes sense. Now, in this situation, because there are slightly low ceilings, I went with a seated headshot. Now, you may be in a situation where you have the room where you could stand, and some people might be a little more comfortable standing, or they feel like their posture is better when they're standing. So you're gonna have to judge each person and each situation, but you could definitely raise this thing up a bit and go with a standing headshot. Now, we've removed the V-flat and we've replaced it with a kicker over there. Now, what's interesting is that this kicker is gonna give me light on my hair and the side of my face, so it's gonna give me that separation, but it's also positioned to spill onto the back wall, so it's gonna brighten the wall even more. So now we've got a dual purpose light happening. It gives me the rim light and a brighter backdrop. Let's fire off a few shots here and see how this looks. Great, so we've got the nice key light hitting me, also hitting the wall. Now we've got the kicker, so we get a little bit of pop from this side, but it's also brightening up the wall. Now, there's one final thing that we're gonna add to this, because I would like to try to fill in a little bit of the shadows under my chin here. And this next thing is one of my favorite tools. Okay, so this is called the Westcott Eyelighter. It's a curved reflector, and what happens is my key light is gonna hit my face, but it's also gonna bounce off of this and fill in under my chin, okay? It's a silver reflector and it's got some sort of specular sort of texture to it, so that gives it a little bit of a contrast and a nice shape to it. So let's fire off a few shots here and we'll see what this thing looks like. Nice. Okay, right away we can see we've got the shadow taken care of under my chin, so it's a little bit brighter and more even now. Yep. Okay, great. So we've got a final image that I'm very happy with. We've got my main light, the Photex soft lighter that's hitting my face. It's also brightening up the backdrop. It's also bouncing off the Westcott eyelighter to fill in under the chin. And then we've got the kicker that's doing two things. It's giving me pop from this side, but it's also brightening up the wall even more.